was very fond of her. And I think he's somewhat bewildered.
Well, I'd love to get your take on this because Meghan Markle has, of course, been making waves recently with some interviews that she's been doing, especially one with Variety, where she discussed everything from her Netflix documentary to her thoughts on the late Queen. So what really stood out to you in this? You know, she said that, following the Queen's death, it was a complicated time for her. What do you think she meant by that?
Well, of course. Well, you remember those early photographs of the Queen with Meghan when they took their first official tour together, and Meghan accompanied the Queen on the royal train to northwest England, and they were laughing. They were having a great time sharing stories, and it looked like there was a bond between them that was quite remarkable. And I'm sure she's hearkening back to those moments now. Fast forward to the last couple of years, and no one caused more trouble for the monarchy, frankly, than Meghan. So, she said in a couple of these interviews that she pointed out that when Meghan Markle did that when she was 17 in her high school yearbook, somebody sent her high school yearbook, and she looked at the quote that she chose to go with her photograph, and it was from Eleanor Roosevelt, and it said, women don't realize, or like tea bags, they don't realize how strong they are until they're in hot water. And it was a prescient comment because Meghan was in a perfect position and has since found herself in a lot of hot water for the things she's said. But look, she's a complicated person, and we'll just see what the future holds for Harry and the rest of the royal family. I mean, this is something Charles wants to mend, but we're looking forward to the book that's going to come out apparently in early next year, and there can only be bombshells in that book. I mean, there's no way to avoid the fact that it's going to rub the king the wrong way. Let's see how that pans out.
Do you think there have been some reports out there that there has been some rework of the book, some re-edits following the Queen's passing? Maybe some olive branches have been extended. Have you heard anything about that? And do you think that's true?
Well, I think that might have been the intention, but they were the King's decision to initially not permit Harry to wear his uniform during the funeral. Right. The fact that at times it seemed as if the Harry and Meghan were being shoved in the background and even shunned, that did a lot of damage, I think. So I have to wait and see where they go with this. But I am almost certain that they won't like this book.
Yeah.
And I don't know what Charles will do about it. He can be, he's like his mother when it comes to the monarchy. He's tough.
Yeah. Do you feel like Harry, maybe after everything, wants to mend this relationship, and now he's kind of in too deep with this book and he has no choice but to put it out there?
I do, because the Netflix deal, they've set up a new life for themselves as, philanthropists and kind of communications moguls with the Spotify deal, the Netflix deal, all this other going on. And so their hands are tied, I think, to some extent. I'm sure they want to tell the full and true story. And let's face it, it's not necessarily a pretty one,
Yeah. What do you think the royal family thinks of Meghan's recent interviews and things like that? Do you think that they pay attention anymore? Or do you think it's just another week, another Meghan interview?
No, I think they pay attention. And I think as far as Charles is concerned specifically, he feels betrayed. I mean, if you remember the wedding and how Charles took Victoria Ragland and, Meghan's mom to sign the guest book and walked Meghan up the last half of the aisle. I mean, he really was very fond of her, and I think he's somewhat bewildered. The Queen was used to handling this kind of thing. I don't think it threw her as much as it has thrown Charles, and understandably so, because this is his son and daughter-in-law who are, who kind of said some pretty hurtful things, but conceivably justifiably so.
For more news content and exclusive interviews, make sure to hit the sub, like, and bell button down below and visit usmagazine.com.